instead. Oh,
I mean, Mirana, pretty strong pick, but... Oh, EHOME. Oh, hold on a
wow.
minute.
Okay.
Alright. I see where they're going with this. John, tell me about the Mirana pick, and then tell me about the Legion Commander pick.
It's the Mirana pick. Honestly, I'm not sure. It it combines well enough with the X mark from Armel, combines well with Tim's Shaker, of course. You have a lot of potency early to mid game. You can push hard. You have a lot of magical burst. You have really good escape with Moonlight Shadow or Initiation as well. But that last pick, Legion Commander, it really ties in the draft for EHOME for me. You can just empower ASD's Legion Commander, win the duels off with the RP. I mean, you RP, empower Legion Commander beforehand. She jumps in, duels someone. Suddenly everyone's dead, along with the Troll Warlord to help clean up as well. It's just the synergy from eHome's draft is massive, Mike. I have to say this is really, really good draft from eHome. TNC is a bit more scattered, I have to say. Probably a bit harder to pull off, whereas eHome's is pretty great. They only really need to worry about Ninja Bogey's silencer. And considering that it is a position 5 silencer, I'm not sure he's going to hit his level 6 in time to counteract the big team fight from eHome early on, Mike.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be concerning for TNC, though. Got to really prioritize winning those lanes out right now. Otherwise, EHOME, again, with that synergy, they may just take over completely. Interesting to note, though, no real strong mid-core coming out from the side of EHOME, so whoever Armel is up against, probably not going to have the greatest time in the world. It does look like it may just be a troll mid, although, no, never mind. We're going to see Legion Commander mid coming up from ASD, which is something I never thought I'd be saying, but apparently that is the case. Huh.
It should be interesting to see. It's been a while since we've seen a mid LC, but that is probably the lane where LC is actually confused in, next to you off lane, of course. You can kind of sustain against the Kunkka by spamming press the attack on yourself, I suppose. Not the cheapest spell to heal yourself up with, though. So, I believe we might see ASD just end up recovering in the jungle, which is perfectly fine. Legion Commander still does it quite fast. The issue is, again, can he contest the Kunkka as much? Probably not. You can spam out overwhelming odds. Armel can just hit back with Tidebringer, which is free. So there's only... there's only so much you can do up against a Kunkka mid. And
Well, we finally have it confirmed, apparently. Armel did ask what EDJ meant, and EE and DJ, apparently by Gabby, is the call, which White tips him for, so we're going to say he was right. Does look at Skewer coming out onto Tim's. They've already going to find the first blood here coming out. Faith Beyond sets up for his team. Ego will go pick it up himself. It was a decent Fisher coming out, but my goodness. Fantastic start already for the side of EHOME.
yeah, killing off Tim's is a pretty good start for them. The issue is Fate Beyond now has level 1 Skewer, which, it works out well when you can get a kill. It really won't help you too much in your lane unless you have setup, which they do have with a Bane. But it looks like Y will go up top, so his combination... No, he's probably just disrupting top for a bit. They'll probably end up down bot in a bit, unless they're really just going to give Fate Beyond a solo lane for him to get his XP fast.
I imagine one of them is going to rotate very, very soon. They do this a lot, EHOME.
It is the Elder Titan, so he does have some sort of setup. It's going to take a bit levels for that to really be effective, but pretty potent lane again, Elder Titan and Magnus. You can, if you catch someone in sleep and they're close enough to Magnus, you can just skewer back to the tower if they are in that range, and that's an easy kill.
This mid lane, John, I'm just watching it. I just never get to see a mid Legion Commander, so I just need to see how this works out, though. Armel currently in front, only slightly. ASD actually hasn't found one last hit yet. Top lane, they will end up finding Cuckoo on that Necrophos, though. Y actually ends up picking that kill for himself. And Tim's wasn't really able to help out. That Fisher was on cooldown at the time. Armel, mid lane, falling quite low, but so is ASD. I guess it goes back to that earlier point as well, though, that he can just heal himself up. And Cuckoo top lane is really struggling top lane. In fact, he may die right now. Y is going in for the Nightmare attempt. Ego will stop the chase. with Tim's on that Earthshaker, it feels like there's not much they can do to help Cuckoo out. Not for the moment, anyway.
Yeah, he is having a rough time if it hasn't really leveled up his level 2 yet. Ghost Shroud shouldn't help too much. Again, Y has really good pure damage coming out with Brain Sap, so it should be a bit worrying for Cuckoo. He is being jumped again.
Yeah, and they get a bash as well. The Ghost Shroud is there in time. Tim's will come in with the Fisher. It won't block Ego, and he has the slow axes there. Throws them out, though this time around, the Fisher will be enough. Cuckoo does force to go for the level 2 Ghost Shroud instead. And so, I mean, I guess it's still perfectly fine. It does save his life, but man, this top lane is not going to get any easier for Cuckoo.
It definitely isn't. He's already struggling. He's quite a fair bit behind the last hits compared to the Troll, who is number 1. And you do want a good start for your Necros. He just barely has enough money to buy a Magic Stick, but he can't go to that side shop safely because it's just shoved in very hard by the side of EHOME. So he can't even pick up his one magical regen tool, which with Ghost Shroud is actually pretty dumb.
Again, he gets ganked up, or not ganked up, but pushed in by Ego. Like you said, that Magic Stick, he wants to get it from the side shot, but Ego does not move back at all. And you look at Y as well, in that position, looking for a Nightmare attempt. He will find Tim's, unfortunately, but he might go for a creep skip. And in fact, no, he won't even bother with that. Again, Y jumping in through that tree line. The Fisher is very nice from Tim's this time around. They've blocked him in. He does have one Tango to break through the tree line if he really needs, and he won't even bother with it. He'll just hold on to it, and they'll just continue this aggression. Meanwhile, mid lane, Armel still having a great old time in the mid lane. Though ASD is starting to slowly catch up with those last hits. And it does look like this is just going to be a fairly even lane for the moment anyway.
Yeah, it's definitely not one where you see a lot of kill potential, even at 6. It's really hard for either hero to burst each other down. I think the main thing, really, it's really just a farming lane. No two ways about it. Both heroes just really want to farm up, get a bit bigger, get their level 6 fast. Really crucial for both heroes. Again, you want to have a good amount of duels on your Legion Commander, and you want to have Kunkka have that boat up and ready as fast as possible for team fights.
But who does it suit more? Like, I never see Legion Commander in pro games. Who does it actually suit more to be able to trade farm evenly?
I think it definitely works just a bit better in general for the Kunkka. Legion Commander does enjoy the farm. I think Kunkka has higher impact if he gets a good amount of farm. So I'd say it's better for the Kunkka to be able to get that gold.
Well, Tim's top lane does end up going down. Getting a lot of harassment coming up from Y and Ego, and they'll find the pick off. Cuckoo, again, forced to use that Ghost Shroud out. It's just a lot of difficulty with survivability for the side of TNC. And look, to be honest, John, you look at every lane right now, the only lane that's being won by TNC is the mid lane. And even that, you would just call that even. Like, Armel is only a couple of last hits in front right now. So, again, like TNC, they are going to be behind out of the laning stage.
They definitely are, and EHOME's lanes, again, are just much stronger, as mentioned in the draft. They have a good amount of control, a good amount of damage, and, you know, they scale well into that mid-game. They require a bit of farm. They're probably going to want Fate Beyond to get a good blink timing this time, and once that's up, I think you're pretty much set. Maybe ASD's blink as well, though.
Well, he's in trouble right now, ASD. Boat does come in with the torrent, and Tim's is there with Ninja Boogie, and they'll shut him down a bit. Very nice rotation coming in. Armel gives him the call once he hits level 6. Says, get the hell in my lane right now. Otherwise, this man is going to be a problem. They do at least take him out. We sit at a 4-1 now in the favor of EHOME. Though, Ego actually finding Cuckoo top lane. Didn't quite catch how that happened, but I imagine it was just Nightmare into the slow arrows again. In fact, hold that thought, because it wasn't even a Nightmare. It was just slow arrows and right clicks with the Brain Sap. Though bot lane, they may end up finding this Elder Titan. Tim's will find him again. This roaming duo of Ninja Boogie and Tim's are starting to make some work happen.
Yeah, it just took a bit longer than you'd probably want for TNC for that duo to come in line, but Ninja Boogie's starting to get a couple of stacks of int up, which you do want to see from your silencer. The one issue is that Cuckoo is just absolutely shafted up top. There's no helping this guy.
Oh, he's in trouble again right now. Like, Ninja Boogie comes in, and in fact, they may find Y this time around. And, well, Nightmare is taken off. Cuckoo should be able to find this with the Death Pulse, though Y gonna make it hard for him. but he will get it eventually. The brain sap wasn't there in time. And again, you've really got to give it to Ninja Boogie and Tims right now, because they really are turning this terrible laning stage around for the side of TNC.
They definitely are. It's surprising how much damage the Troll Warlord does to the Necrophos, really. You'd expect it to not be much of an issue, but you do have a pretty long cooldown on Ghost Shroud, so it's not like you can get out for free every time.
Ninja Boogie now is in trouble as well, John. Nightmare will be out on Cuckoo. That's the better target, and that's the one they want. Nightmare's taken by Ninja Boogie. I don't know if he should have done that, but it will work out. They time it well. Ego will get back to farming, though he is farming pretty darn decently on that Troll Warlord. Armel does manage to get ASD in the mid lane. It looks like it was the X into the Torrent Boat again coming out from him. With that Max Tidebringer, it is a lot of damage. Though bot lane as well, TNC, they're going to find another. They'll even out the kill board by taking down Faith Beyond, and it looks like TNC, they've woken up a bit, John.
Yeah, that's a good sign. Again, they were losing a bit too much in that early game. I feel like TNC's lineup definitely is stronger in the mid game. So if they lose momentum now, it just makes it harder for them to hit their power spikes, which tapers off much faster than EHOME's. So it's good for them to play catch up like this. Still want a bit more of a lead.
Elder Titan. This shot does eventually come out. No, it's not quite a nice block. I thought it was. ASD actually roaming around as well. He has that level 6 jewel available. Though they are still chasing it to the Titan. Tim's Enchant Totem will not stun. And now ASD knows exactly where he is. He goes in. The Spirit is there. And Tim's may be the first bit of jewel damage going to the way of ASD in a moment. No mana for the Fisher available. ASD can't get in range. No, he does find it. Can they take him down? It does look like they will in time. The added damage coming up from the Elder Titan will be enough to get that dual damage off on the Legion Commander.
Yeah, that is what you want to see from your Legion as soon as they hit level 6. Try to find a kill with that duel. Does find it. That's 10. Bonus damage going the way of ASD. Good start. You do want to build up. Maybe aim for at least 40 by 20 minutes. That's a pretty fast pace, actually, but it is a good amount to have. I think that's what you want to see from a Legion Commander. Just really active early on, trying to get as much as possible with that duel, and securing a nice transition to that mid to late game.
Well, looks like they did also force out Ego at that top lane a bit. Was forced to go down to the fountain, but he will be back. Though Cuckoo has caught up in terms of levels. In terms of farm, he is still very far behind, but at the very least, you have Reaper's Scythe available now. Even bot lane Y at a very low HP. Oh, RP, Faith Beyond playing around with it, though he does get stunned up. We can't forget Faith Beyond with his RP. You've got to be very afraid of that. If he does have some teammates to set up with, it tends to be very easy pickoffs.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Bot lane Y. Nightmare is out. Gabby, he really wanted that bounty rune and he went back for it. Now he will grab it though. The Elder Titan Stomp is there, and ASD again has the jewel available. More damage for me. Faith Beyond, he wanted to spectate the jewel, so he came over. Gives an empower off to ASD and backs off back to the lane.
Yeah, again, a very good start for ASD. Finding all these bonus kills, up to 20 bonus damage now. So he is hitting his stride quite well. Working on an armlet next, instead of an initiation tool. I'm not too sure about that. It works out well. Legion Commander is a pretty decent armlet hero, but you probably want initiation just a bit more.
Well, they found Ego. Top lane, they scanned him out in that jungle. The boat will come in with the torrent. Can they burst him down though? Cuckoo is there. Here's a Reaper Scythe for you. Enjoy. 40 seconds on the respawn board now. Cuckoo, it must have felt good throwing out that R button on that Troll Warlord after the laning stage he's had.
Yeah, you definitely know he enjoyed that, and just letting him sit back and take some time to think about what he's done to this Necrophos in lane. It's just always satisfying for any Necrophos to do.
ASD currently farming up in the jungle himself. Of course, this is one of the things Legion Commanders can do very, very quickly. Especially when you do give him out an empower, and in fact, once the jewel's up, they're going to go for another gank attempt. I love this aggressive playstyle coming out from EHOME. And Gabby will be the target. Of course, I believe that's why they went for the Legion Commander in the first place, is to make sure Gabby can't just leap away each team fight. Can they burst him down in time? Why? He'll be there with the Nightmare. They really wanted Gabby though, I feel. But they wait out the Nightmare. The Jewel is there. Moonlight Shadow comes in, but it will not help out at all for Tims. They will find another Jewel. 30 damage now in addition for the side of ASD's Legion. He's sitting there pretty happy, I'm sure.
Very happy for certain. They do lose their tier 1 up top, but I think that's a fair enough trade. You're finding a lot in your Legion commander. You've secured pretty decent farm on all of your cores. Faith Beyond is currently running away in the creep score. And in terms of net worth, you're not too far behind.
Yeah, they've got Faith Beyond, though. He does have help ASD. No Jewel available, but he will make the chase with Ego. RP will be straight on Gabby. That's the target they want. Armel actually cancels the TP off as well. Gabby, can he leap out of here? He can't. It was 1 second off cooldown. He won't get the chance. And now a 9-6 for the side of EHOME. Though net worth advantage is 1k the way of TNC. So we are sitting here watching a very, very even game as it stands.
Definitely very even. I think the one issue for TNC right now is that Cuckoo on his Necrophos is way too far behind.
Oh, why? Oh, nice global silence. Very nice global silence. They did not want to let Cuckoo die again. And had they not done that global silence, he would have been put in the Nightmare or the Fiend's grip. And bot lane, TNC, they're going to try and find a pick off of their own. They find the Elder Titan, but every time they've gone for this man, they end up giving Jewel damage away. And as I say that, Ego, it won't be Jewel damage this time, but he is there, though they will come in. Armel, it was a bit of a bait coming out, and Echo Slam from Tims. He finds 2 of them. Can they find the Titan as well? It looks like Armel will get him. Double kill for the Kunkka. TNC now looking for some payback. They chase Faith Beyond, who has the Blink Dagger up. Tims, can he initiate? The Fisher is available, but Faith Beyond, he doesn't see them. Though he will just be able to skewer out. Won't really mind anyway.
EHOME right now has bled a bit of their map control as well, not only bleeding heroes out to these fights, but they have lost 2 tier 1s now. They're mid and they're top, so that's a lot of map control going the way of TNC. A good start for them, and they do need to secure that map control because EHOME will just run away in terms of farm. Again, the farming potential from Troll and Legion Commander with the Empower, it's just way too fast. You want to have some way of contesting that jungle, and EHOME has been trying. TNC has been trying.
Well, they go for a Moonlight Shadow now as well. But they're all very split up. Where EHOME, they are much more grouped together. It looks like it was just an emergency for Armel, just in case he gets caught out, because he does get the tier 1 top bot tower, though they have found Gabby. ASD, again, he's going to find more Jewel damage. Now up to 40 at the 14.5 minute mark. And it looks like they'll want to push the tier 1 tower themselves. Though the bounty runes will be up in about 10 seconds. And they don't have a creep wave quite yet. And now mid lane. Looks like they want to set up onto TNC again. Though the whole team is there. Cuckoo maybe baiting out. He does get RP. Tims is around, but he can't get the Ghost Shroud off. The Stomp was there in time. The Fisher will not be long enough. Another nice pick-off from the side of EHOME. But it looks like TNC, they're just focused on taking these ancient stacks away from the side of this Radiant Ender. They will come in and fight this. Enchant Totem is there, though. Skewer back from Faith Beyond. Fisher's nice, and the Torrent Boat as well. Ego's going to cop all this. The Stomp came in. Is it good enough? Ego tries to go for the Wild Axes. It won't work. He will end up falling, and now they'll chase the Elder Titan. Though here comes the Legion Commander. Global Silence goes out, but they don't reinitiate. They just want to back out of here. And ASD finds nobody. The dust was there, but it hits nobody either. And so the Global Silence once again saving TNC in this second game.
Yeah, that was a pretty good escape from TNC. They managed to get a pick off as well. It would have been pretty close. That dust did land on Gabby, but they didn't have any actual vision on him, so really moot point there. Again, you have to be careful about chasing around TNC, especially when you get in a tight corner like that. The Kunkka absolutely enjoys it when you clump up in a ramp like that. It's very easy to land a torrent, very easy to land a boat, and from there it's just really easy to burst you down early on. At this point in the game, Kunkka still pumps out a lot of damage.
Looks like TNC bot lane may go for ASD. Armel does go in with the Shadow Wave. Now the X is there as well. He goes for the Jewel though. I don't know about that one. The boat will connect. Can they burst him down in time? They will not. I guess the Jewel was the only way of him getting out of that one, but ASD dominating spree given the way of Armel. Excuse me, Gabby was the one who picked it up. They don't get the added Jewel damage, but that doesn't really like really matter at all. They just wanted that pick off.
Yeah, and now they get to kind of shove in this tier 2. I'm not sure if we're going to see a defense coming out from EHOME, as they are pretty out of position.
Looks like they're just happy for Ego to just push up the top lane for the moment. The TNC, they're on the prowl. They want to hunt. They won't find anyone quite yet. Bot lane, though, is still being pushed in. Gabby, he will avoid the Spirit Stomp. So both teams will back off to safety. But John, I've got to ask, now that we have got 40 damage on ASD, how much does this matter, like the dual damage? How much do they actually care about this?
You do care a fair bit, if you're EHOME, about that dual damage. Again, you kind of want good timing on how much damage he gets out, and 40 is a really good timing. As I mentioned, you'd probably want about 40 at 20 minutes in. You hit that at around 15. It's a good timing for them. And again, you kind of want to build up. Past a certain point, it really doesn't matter, because you're limited by how much you can actually right-click someone.
Well, they're going to find Ego. Top lane, another big pick-off for the side of TNC. If they can burst him down, he's got help coming in, but again, Cuckoo, he has the Reaper's Scythe. He makes sure that there was a smoke, and Tim's, he runs into them. The Fiend's Grip is there, now the Duel as well, but again, the assistance is around. Cuckoo gets started. They'll get the dual damage off, though, and now the RP Faith Beyond. He'll find 3 of them, and they get dragged back. A double kill for both ASD and Ego, and they want the final pick onto Gabby, but they'll go for the Roshan instead. The Global Silence, Johnny, was there in time, but of course the Legion Commander, he doesn't care about that. He's already in a duel. He's already silenced as it is. And so EHOME, another fight going their way this time around. They even force out the buyback on Tim's on that Earthshaker, and it gets nothing done.
At the very least, they force EHOME out of that Roche pit. I think EHOME probably could have still taken it. They do not have a blink on Tim's to start with the Echo Slam. They didn't have Armel on the Kunkka, so they couldn't really remotely stop him anyway. But I guess in that sense, the buybacks did kind of give them something. At the very least, they don't lose Roche as well. So that's a plus side for TNC, but a very good team fight coming out from EHOME. Just a beautiful RP from Fate Beyond. And again, we're seeing the potential of the draft of EHOME, as we mentioned from the draft phase.
Well, they're going to go after this Y Bane. He will be pretty much by, I say by himself, but they're rotating in. ASD, again, a duel comes off. He's on the Earthshaker, and he just does so much damage. They'll get the stomp off onto Armel as well, though they'll turn it around TNC. It looks like they'll take him out. There's the Echo. Tim's barely manages to survive that thanks to that boat buff. I thought that was an easy duel from EHOME, but TNC not going to allow it anymore. They'll find 2 kills, and they'll save themselves an Earthshaker.
Yeah, it's really rough right now for TNC. All these fights are going really, really evenly at this point. Again, it's at this point in the game where TNC's draft is also supposed to be around its strongest point, so you are a bit worried. This is probably, you know, the early onset of their power peak, and it doesn't look that strong compared to EHOME, who have been looking really good in this game. That comes down to, again, the synergy you have with that Magnus pick. It's just so much value when you can empower both your Troll Warlord and your Legion Commander. You have really good follow-up from the Elder Titan. You have good single target control from the Bane. So EHOME's draft is really well-rounded, whereas TNC really have to go all in on these gank attempts, trying to find pickoffs and then clearing objectives after, which they have been doing quite well. It's just that they really have to keep this momentum up if they want to, you know, maintain their power peak.
Well, Armel staring down at ASD right now. He's got that X available. He's got help coming in, but he will not initiate. Perhaps feeling like it was a bait coming out from EHOME, which it potentially could have been, because Faith was there with the RP. And so they will not initiate onto that Legion Commander. TNC, they group up mid lane. But again, they're not looking for a team fight right now. You still, though, you look at that Troll Warlord, you start to get slightly worried. He is farming up throughout that jungle. Armel, again, like game number 1, is sitting at the top of the net worth board. The thing is, though, it's kind of like the same Bloodseeker. They end up dropping off during the later stages of the game. So you don't really want to rely on his net worth. And Faith Beyond mid lane misses a skewer onto Ninja Boogie, and now the Moonlight Shadow comes out. TNC, they want to find a pick-off. They see Y bot lane. It's a very easy one that the turret will not connect, and it looks like EHOME will avoid the gank attempts coming in from TNC for the moment. Although Y, Cuckoo will find him out. Gets the Yules off. Armel is there with the Tidebringer. And they will take him out. Reaper Scythe comes in. Nice little pickup for TNC.
Yeah, you do take out the Bane. He's gone for a full minute thanks to that Reaper's Sight. That should probably clear out the way for at least some decent chip damage on one tower. I would not commit all your heroes in a tight space like this, though. Again, just watching out for Fate Beyond's RP. He is not in the area, but, you know, if he does decide to TP in, it could be very, very fatal for TNC if they clump up.
Yeah, nice scan comes out, though, from EHOME. They do scan out TNC coming through that jungle. And it looks like they will TP rather than walking their way back to that mid lane. And they may go for a smoke attempt now. The EHOME, they'll need to push out the mid lane a bit. TNC are starting to really apply some pressure on this map. And it looks like ASD will join in. Though I don't see a smoke coming out quite yet either. Although the Order Titan does hold one, but they will just currently farm up. Push the bot lane out first and then perhaps go for a smoke.
That's a fair point. You know, again, if you're EHOME, you're kind of happy with just farming anyway. It doesn't really matter if you force a smoke or not. TNC will smoke up. This is Tim's blink reveal, I believe, so they have to make this one count. It's the only time they're going to be able to surprise people, you know, thinking that Tims does not have that blink. He does have it up now. We'll see if he can land a big Echo Slam.
Oh, they're going to find Ego, but he has a lot of help behind him. The Torrent boat comes in. Earthsplitter is there to help out, and now the Jewel comes in. They'll go straight onto Tim's Earthshaker, though. Gabby trying to help out. The Jewel gets off. They'll lose Ego, though. It's a nice little pickup for TNC, and they want even more. Cuckoo moves forward. The Astral Spirit is there. ASD, he's the one they're targeting. Their Faith, he commits the RP. It is onto Armel's Kunkka, and they'll find him as well. Now the Fiend's Grip. They found Cuckoo. Though Gabby, what can he do to help out? He goes straight after Y on that Bane, but can he burst him down? He'll go after ASD, but the heal is just enough, and now Gabby's in trouble, though he will leap away. The Astral Spirit still chasing Faith Beyond. ASD, he will find the kill onto Gabby. And ultimately, TNC end up losing the team fight. It's a 2-for-3 trade, and 1.3k goes to the way of EHOME again.
Yeah, not the ideal fight for TNC again. That was the blink reveal of Tim's, and he didn't even get to get that Echo Slam off. He didn't get to use it. So not the ideal way to reveal that blink. That means EHOME is now aware. They'll probably be a bit more.
They've caught out the Legion Commander, John. Ninja Boogie, he will end up losing his life, though. Cuckoo, can he deal the damage for the Reaper's Scythe? He's copying a lot. ASD just turns around. Mind you, he didn't get the Jewel off in time. Ninja Boogie ends up falling just to a right click afterwards. Though you still are sitting at 76% Jewel damage right now. I don't think you're too upset if you're ASD. Not to mention, he's got a full BKB up. He's got the armlet up, or he's had that for a while. And the Blink Dagger as well. And he's going to be going straight into that Desolator. And going back to your initial point earlier on, TNC don't have the greatest late game in their draft. So they do need to really start pulling ahead right here, right now.
It's already a tall order to ask that from TNC again. It feels like they're very far behind when they're only 1k behind. In fact, pretty even. The issue is, again, that the synergy from EHOME is just too good. Like, this combination from TNC just cannot compare in a 5v5. You have that Echo Slam, it's just not as great. Your follow-up is, you know, the Kunkka, but again, it just kind of pales.
They're going to go in the Roche Pit. It's almost down. The Nightmare is there on Tims, and now the Jewel comes out immediately. The BKB from ASD, they save the Roshan. No Echo Slam available, though. Arrow will actually hit the Roche as well. Ego dodges it. It felt like their one chance. Armel, he was not in position on that Kunkka to go for the Roshan. The only chance they had was Tim's, but he chose to throw the Fissure out first to try and delay it out a bit. He had the Echo Slam available, but with that Nightmare coming out, they just go get another Jewel off on the ASD's Legion Commander, and he's only a few hundred gold away from his Desolator now, John. This is very, very concerning if you're a TNC fan.
Yeah, once that Desolator is up, not only will he melt through heroes fast, which really isn't the issue right now anyway, it's that they can push even faster. The buildings will just melt with that minus armor, and again, as TNC, you are worried at this point. If you are watching for TNC, you should be a bit worried. Again, Tims has had that blink for a while. He has not really managed to utilize it to its fullest extent yet. Armel, he's been following up as best as he can, but you know, it doesn't compare to how EHOME has been counter-initiating so far. So you do have to really watch out. TNC, their timer is ticking away, and they only have so much left, so much time left before they really start to tick away.
Well, now this mid lane going to be pushed in. EHOME going for the T1 with that new Desolator that ASD has. Armel actually cancels off the TP. Though there is a smoke coming in. Tims, again, he holds that Echo Slam available. Ego. Gonna start taking the T1 out. You've got to be worried about Faith Beyond. He's not showing it, and now they found one. It's Armel as well. Earthsplitter comes in, but that will find the pick off. Another bit of dual damage again going out to ASD. They do not feel comfortable without their Kunkka to try and go for a team fight, especially into an Aegis Troll, and especially into Faith Beyond on that Magnus that has been really missing until it's too late. Though they will Moonlight Shadow up. Tims, he'll see if he can find a pick off with that Echo Slam. They know where ASD is. The Fisher comes out, but it's not great. But the Reaper side, it won't be enough. Now the RP, Faith Beyond. Global Silence is there. Tims still trying to take down ASD, but he BKB's up. And now he chases Tims. They do end up getting Gabby as well. And the Fiend's Grip, it will come out onto Cuckoo. Wise found him. Meanwhile, ASD, he does get Tims on that Earthshaker. It's 4 down for the side of TNC. They may get a tier 3 down as well here from the side of EHOME.
I don't see them pulling back anytime soon. Again, they may have expended RP. The Echo Slam is down though. The Aegis is still up for EHOME. They do decide to play it a bit safe though. I really feel like they could have pushed it, but I guess Armel is back up. He does have his combination up. Really don't want to risk it when you don't have that RP. And EHOME doesn't need to rush anyway. Again, they do scale better into that late game. So for TNC, it's much more pivotal that they win this phase of the game, but it's really not working out their way at all. 25-17, 6k net worth lead now for EHOME. TNC is really starting to fall behind now, Mike.
Oh, they certainly are. What can they do though? Like, you're never out of it in a Dota game, right? But we are hitting that 30-minute mark now. We'll wait it out because Armel, he does look for an attempt at somebody's life. He does go for that Heaven's Halberd build. But you look to Gabby on that Mirana. He's even going for a Lincoln Sphere. Like, they're trying to block out this duel from ASD with that. But, I mean, it's just, there's not enough damage being pumped out. And the control from EHOME right now in this game number 2 is just fantastic. What do you do if you're TNC?
I think you start going all in on Armel. Just, you're going to have to depend on him for damage. He's trying to go for a BKB. I think that's okay, but honestly, I would be much happier with maybe something like a Daedalus. Although, you know, he is getting controlled up very hard, so I can understand why that BKB is a pickup for him. But I feel like it's almost a moot point, because if you're going to get jumped by Fate Beyond anyway, it doesn't care about BKB. So I feel like you just go for the damage, try to find pickoffs, and then force EHOME into a spot where they're responding.
Well, they are responding now on the side of TNC, unfortunately. Arrow, though, does connect. ASD, that's a 5-second. Torrent Boat is there, though, again. Where's Faith Beyond? He's waiting. They do end up dodging on ASD. He takes no damage. Cuckoo will be the target. They want that duel off with the Global Silence, saving him for the moment. Faith Beyond. RP, he didn't quite commit it yet. He cancels it off. Cuckoo immediately going to get dragged down with that duel, and he's sitting at 154 duel damage 30 minutes in. Now the Fiend's Grip is there on Armel. He's got nowhere to go. He goes for a run. The Fisher comes in from Tims, and Armel, he goes to the tree line with that Shadow Blade, but they have the dust on him. The Spirit will scout him out, and Ego takes him down. And with that, there's both a tier 1 and a tier 2 tower at that bot lane that can just easily be taken by EHOME. John, I mean, the Aegis expires, but did you see how fast Cuckoo went down to that Legion Commander?
Yeah, it was pretty fast. Again, Necrophos is only durable because of how much he can heal himself. He can't heal himself when he's under duel.
Oh, they found Gabby as well. Sorry, excuse me. The Yules was there, but they don't go for the stomp attempt. By the way, ASD is going for an Aghanim Scepter.
I think that's perfectly fine. In this game, the Legion Commander, as it scales into late game, kind of tapers off. Although I think in this specific game, it's not going to be as evident that ASD will taper off because he's doing so much damage and TNC just doesn't scale the same way. I think that Aghanim's works out fine. You control someone down long enough, get a duel off on someone tanky like Armel, who will pretty much just melt anyway. I mean, it's really just there to hold the hero down for at
RP.
least 4-5 seconds.
Bot lane though, Tims, he comes in with that Echo to help out. Though will it be enough? Ego, BKB's up, goes after Tims, will find the trade now. Armel throws the boat in, they might find Faith Beyond, but the 4-star was there, now the stomp. Reaper Scythe comes in, Faith Beyond, he survives it. Cuckoo, it wasn't enough damage, and now the Earth Splitter, it will hit Armel. Though still nobody down, Ninja Boogie, he might be the target, and he is gone. Ego on a double. Now they found the Nightmare as well, though Cuckoo will take it for him. They get the X off onto Ego, it'll be massive, the arrow, it's perfect. Gabby finds a very, very nice kill. They lost 2, John, but at least it's both the supports. And they found the Troll Warlord. But look at ASD. He's got a double damage. He's currently hitting for almost 700 per right click with this double damage. I don't know how you put up with this kind of damage if you do get jeweled up.
You can't. As TNC, you just can't.
Well, he's got the Aghanim Scepter. They use him up. They've got to try and control him and kite him around. ASD, BKB's up. He just wants a tower, and oh, this BKB, it wasn't great. The nice stomp. They just want to get out and reset. If it wasn't for that stomp, though, they may have lost him again on that Legion Commander. And so still TNC, they managed to hold out, and they found the Troll Warlord. They lose 2 supports, but their tier 3 is still okay.
Successful defense for TNC again, but it comes at a cost, really. You're playing it, you're being pushed against the wall, whereas this is supposed to be where you're at your strongest. Your Necrophos has kind of tapered off. He hasn't really gotten any big items. He has a Yules on a Blink. That's it, really. Going for a E-Blade next, it looks like. But that should help against a couple of the heroes, I guess. You know, stopping them from right-clicking is pretty good. It's like a soft disarm. It will be dispelled by BKB, though, if I recall right. That might be a bit of an issue, as BKBs are up for the course on EHOME anyway. Well, you know, Troll doesn't have... I don't know, he does. They do have the BKBs up. I don't know. If you're TNC, you really just want clean pickoffs, but EHOME is not giving you that window because they're always clumped up now.
Yeah, now we have a smoke on smoke. EHOME will run the right way. The TNC, no real idea what's going on right now. Gabby, he breaks it. Nice break from him. ASD immediately blinked in, assuming someone was there, but they weren't. And now Moonlight Shadow, TNC, they may turn this, but it looks like they don't actually want to fight, and the dust does find them. Gabby will be the target. Meanwhile, they found the Earthshaker. Tims, he's gone, and there was an RP. It was straight on Gabby, and ASD gets the jewel off. They're just not willing to fight, and Cuckoo, oh, the skewer actually hits him just on the bare minimum edge of it. Faith Beyond will be there. Why? With the Fiend's Grip, they'll finish him off. That's 3 down. The only man to get out of there was Armel and Ninja Boogie, but that is not great news if you are TNC.
Really isn't. Again, they are starting to taper off in this endgame. I feel like, you know, Armel does grab that BKB up. He needs to itemize for damage now. Because they're lacking it now. They just can't compete. It's not like the heroes on EHOME are squishy enough you could burst them down with no items as Kunkka. You definitely need items. That's a Legion Commander, that's a Magnus, that's a Troll Warlord. They are all kind of innately tanky. They've got pretty good strength gain on each. You will need something to help out with that.
Well, they found Ninja Boogie bot lane as well. ASD literally in the mid lane takes it himself, the tier 3. They get the X off. Are they really going to dive him though? It's just a torrent. Ninja Boogie bought back after that bot death. But EHOME looking to set up for that mid racks if they can. Roshan is going to be 30 seconds away, and they do ping it out. So EHOME, they want to play this safely. MKB now up on Ego as well. He'll be going straight into that butterfly next. TNC, they're so defensive right now with this itemization. Like, you got the Lincolns, you got the BKB. Like, sure, these are normal items, but if you've got no DPS to dish out on EHOME, how the hell do you win these team fights? It looks like Elder Titan gonna find out Cuckoo top lane. The stomp will be dodged by the Yules, but he is completely surrounded now. Ghost Shroud coming up, but the Nightmare from Y, he does have help coming in though. TNC, can they turn this? Cuckoo gets jeweled up. Tims, he gets jumped on by Ego. He sees him. Ego with that BKB though. Tims will back off, and now can they turn it? Mel runs in. Tidebringer to hit though. The Nightmare is there. They may find why. So RP comes in again. The skewer back as well. Global Silence immediately. Tims goes in with the Echo, but it's not going to be quite enough. The damage was really negligible. Mel still alive throughout all this, though they will end up taking Ninja Boogie down. Now Tim's still being chased. Reaper Scythe is there on Ego, though they found a big pick off. Elder Titan still fighting around this. Faith Beyond thinking about backing off because Cuckoo is here and he jumps in again on Faith Beyond. They got to cancel that blink, though he does skewer Cuckoo back. Now the X is there though. They hit the arrow as well. Gabby, can he burst him down? Another stomp coming out onto the Earth Spirit. Ego, he'll come in. He'll take out the Earth Shaker Tims. Faith Beyond about to lose his life. The Glimmer Cape saving him. Now the duel comes in as well. Cuckoo's gone. Ego looking for more. Mel just trying to back the hell out of there. And it looks like he will be able to do so just fine. Although I say that, no, they found him. The Wild Axes will slow him down. ASD, no duel available, but he's just going to wait on that uphill. And in fact, no, he won't. He'll jump in and he'll take him out. TNC, they end up losing 4. They'll get a buyback out onto Ego, but that's really all they're going to get. And the Faith Beyond kill.
Really worthwhile for EHOME. Again, they do manage to make sure, I mean, from that team fight, they can take Roche quite easily. Sure, they lose a couple of big heroes, and you know they had to spend 1 buyback on Ego. But again, I think that's definitely worthwhile. At this point, the gap is just really huge now with TNC and EHOME. They managed to burst a couple of heroes, but it took so long, Mike. Like even that kill on Fate Beyond took them way too long. Like they can't just burst these guys anymore. When the fight goes long like that, TNC ends up losing, even with the boat buff, because they just can't compare in terms of tankiness.
Dire are scanning.
See what they can do. 38 minutes in. They're now 14k net worth behind in game number 2. Another BKB coming out on Gabby. What's Armel going to go for right now? He needs something big. I mean, at this point, you almost feel like just start going for the Divine Rapier. Like, that Tidebringer will do more than what you've got right now. Though that duel,
I feel like that is a good choice, but yeah, comparing it to how much damage that ASD has, it's 272. It's like he has a divine.
Oh no. I mean, this is impressive, man. When I saw the Legion Commander come out, I was so doubtful. ASD is going to go for a Daedalus pickup now as well. He's actually got it in the stash. He just TPs to get it and defend the bot lane. He won't be there for the top initiation, though. He does have the boots of travel. Looks like it will be up in 20 seconds anyway, so he's happy to wait this out a bit. TNC, can they defend this, though? It's going to be so hard. Like, if they take ASD down, I could see it. But ASD is literally 3-shotting people right now with the amount of damage he has.
Yeah. It's really hard to defend this as TNC. Again, ASD's just way too big. He does go for the plus 40 dual damage bonus as well, which I really believe that's kind of unnecessary at this point in the game, but hey, you know, more damage is always good, right?
It is always good. There's no doubting that. Mid lane, Ego. He's going to get started on the range racks. Cuckoo is there with the Ethereal Blade. That'll help, especially up against that Legion Commander. Mind you, you can't go through the BKB with that. Armel, oh, he gets picked off. He can't afford to die right now. Can they stop it? No, the stomp! It'll stop Tims from actually throwing out the Fisher. Aerospitter was there. They will use up Ego. The buyback as well coming out from Armel. But EHOME not going to be afraid. They have the Aegis. Cuckoo again. Ethereal Blade is there onto Ego. Arrow will connect, but the Nightmare is there to save. And now Faith Beyond again with the RP. The Global Silence wasn't there in time. They're going to get shredded. Armel, he just died back. That was a 1.5k crit. Now the Fiend's Grip comes out onto Cuckoo. The nice echo comes out from Tims. Is that actually going to change it though? ASD, he still has plenty of HP left. They'll turn it around. It could just be a full team wipe. Gabby's the only one left. Tims calls it. He's had enough of this game. EHOME currently leading this series 2-0, John. And I've got to say, it's just lucky it's a best of 5 for TNC.
Oh yeah, it definitely is lucky for them that they still have the potential to bounce back. But man, is it looking really hard. EHOME is showing up today. I think we could safely say this game too, it has been very convincing as a win. Just straight up dominating the lanes, winning that mid game, winning that late game as well. Really well played from EHOME. TNC, I feel like they need to work on their drafting. This is not the strongest set of drafts we've seen from them so far. They need to play more to their strengths instead of being so reactive or playing to a certain meta. Just do what they do best, I think, and we'll see some better gameplay from them